This video will give you the most detailed guide in getting Race V4. This video will tell you everything to know on how to get Race V4, and how to max it out. Before we begin this video, obtaining Race V4 is probably the hardest and one of the most complex quests in Blox Fruits. So I highly recommend watching this video till the end, so you won't do anything wrong. I also know how frustrating it can be to keep rewatching certain clips, so I will try to explain everything in detail. Anyway, enjoy. The first quest to Race V4 is to defeat Rip_Indra. If you've already defeated Rip_Indra, you can skip this part and go to the next step. However, I still advise watching the entire video. To defeat Rip_Indra, you first need to spawn him. To spawn Rip_Indra, you need a God's Chalice. You can get a God's Chalice from one of these methods. I would highly recommend hunting elite pirates to get the God's Chalice. The other methods mentioned either take lots of time to be efficient or have a lower drop rate. To defeat elite pirates, you need to talk to this NPC. Elite pirates spawn every 10 minutes, so if he says this, it means an elite pirate hasn't spawned yet. If an elite pirate has spawned, the NPC will say something like this. If you somehow stumble upon an elite pirate, you don't need to go back to this NPC for the quest. The only purpose of that NPC is to tell you where they're located, and if you want Yama, I guess. Once you've gotten the God's Chalice, you need to activate all 3 legendary hockey buttons which are located around Castle on the Sea. This button has a gray/white outline, which means it needs the legendary snow white hockey color to be activated. Follow me for the rest of the button locations. This button requires the legendary pure red hockey color. This button requires the legendary winter sky hockey color. If you don't have all 3 hockey colors, just ask a friend/someone who has the hockey colors to activate them for you. Now, once you've finished all the previously mentioned steps, hold out your chalice and walk into this pedestal. Indra will then spawn. If people are helping you to defeat Indra, just make sure you do some damage. Also, you don't have to spawn Indra yourself, you just need to help defeat him. Once you've defeated Indra, talk to the Sealed King. He's located near the pure red button. He will give you some dialogue, read it if you want, but once the dialogue is finished, head over to the Great Tree. Go to the very top of the Great Tree. There will be this purple circle thingy at the very top. Interact with the mysterious force. You don't have to do anything here, just return to the Sealed King. Follow me to know how to get out. Interact with the mysterious force to get out. Return to the Sealed King and talk to him again to activate your next quest. You won't be able to do the next quest without talking to him first. You now need to get a mirror fractal, which can only be obtained by defeating the Do King. To spawn the Do King, you need the God's Chalice and 10 conjured cocoa. I've already said how to get the God's Chalice, so I recommend going back to know how to get it. Now to get conjured cocoa, you just need to defeat the Cocoa Warriors and Chocolate Bar Battler NPCs. Those 2 enemy NPCs have a 2.5% drop chance, so it will take you some time to get 10 conjured cocoa. I finally got 1 conjured cocoa after around 3 minutes of defeating these enemy NPCs. You can see how much conjured cocoa you have by checking your inventory. Talk to this NPC, he will trade you the Cake's Chalice for a God's Chalice and 10 conjured cocoa. Now go to Cake Land and talk to the Drip Mama NPC. You need to defeat 500 enemies that spawn only in Cake Land, and you can come back to Drip Mama to see your progress. The enemies must only spawn in Cake Land. It won't count if you defeat enemies at Chocolate Land or something. Now this part will take a lot of time, so I recommend finding people to help you defeat 500 enemies. You will also need the help defeating Do King since he's currently the strongest boss in this game, and it's impossible to solo him. Once you've defeated 500 enemies, make sure that the person who has the Cake's Chalice is the one who interacts with Drip Mama to spawn the boss. The portal won't auto-open once you get 500 enemies defeated, you have to manually talk to Drip Mama to spawn the boss. So if someone who doesn't have the Cake's Chalice talks to Drip Mama, he will spawn the Cake Prince, not the Do King. The Dough King is the only entity who drops the mirror fractal, which is a material we need for the next step to race v4. So I highly recommend doing this in a private server to avoid bounty hunters/hackers. But anyway, you know you've spawned Dough King if a message in the chat says, "A dimension worthy of a god has spawned." Like I said before, the Dough King is the hardest boss to defeat, so I highly recommend getting more people to defeat him. Anyway, once you've defeated the Dough King, you will get a mirror fractal. If you didn't get any rewards for defeating the Dough King, it either means you despawned or you didn't do enough damage to get the rewards. Now that you've got the mirror fractal, you need to find the Mirage Island during the night. Also, you don't need to find the Mirage Island during a full moon anymore, it just has to be nighttime. The Mirage Island has a 1% chance to spawn while you are sailing through the seas. However, you can increase the chance by sailing through the sea with more people. Finding Mirage Island is definitely the hardest part of the Race v4 quest, so I highly recommend finding more people to help you find it. Make sure when you are sailing/idle in the sea you are between islands, since Mirage Island is a medium-sized island that needs space to spawn. Now, once you've found Mirage Island, you will need to find its highest point. Usually, the highest point is these hills sort of things. Once you've found the highest point, look at the moon for a few seconds and activate your Race v3 ability. After a few seconds, the moon should light up like this and say, "Your mirror fractal has resonated with the moon." If the moon won't light up, it either means you don't have Race v3 or a mirror fractal, or because you haven't done one of the previously mentioned steps. Re-watch this video and see if you've missed out on any of the steps. Now, once the moon has lighted up, you have around 15 minutes to search for a blue gear. Now search around Mirage Island for the blue gear, and make sure to check all the corners. Once you've found the gear, walk on it. If the gear then disappears, it means you've completed this step. Now, go to the top of the great tree, and interact with the mysterious force again. Now that you are in the Temple of Time, follow me. On the upper right, there will be a lever. If you've found the blue gear, you should be worthy to pull it. Once you pull the lever, this gate will open for you to pass through. There are 6 rooms for each respectable race. I'm the shark race, so this is my trial room. Now to get Race v4, you need to wait for a full moon and get 2 other people with a different race that you have. When it becomes a full moon, you and the other 2 people must each go to their respectable trial room. Keep in mind that you can have more than 3 people in a trial. It's just that 3 people are the minimum amount of people you must have in order to begin a Race v4 trial. To begin a trial, everyone must go to their trial room and activate their Race v3 ability together. Now it's not gonna work for me, since it's not a full moon and I don't have a minimum of 2 other people doing the trial too. But if you fit the requirements to start a trial, the doors of your trial will open and you will have 1 minute to complete a quest. Each race has different quests. If your race is Shark, you will have to fight a Nerf sea beast. If your race is Mick, you will have to do a maze quest. If a person doesn't manage to complete their quest in 1 minute, the trial will cancel, and you will have to restart. But if everyone does complete their quest, they will teleport to this ruined place in the Temple of Time. It will then be a free-for-all, since only one person can win in a trial. If you win the trial, a light will appear, follow the light. If the light is bugged for you or something, just follow me. I don't have the light with me, so this stairway is just infinite for me. But if you do have the light with you, this stairway will bring you to the ancient clock, which is where you unlock Race v4 and Race v4 abilities. And yeah, that's how you get Race v4. If you want to know how to unlock Race v4 abilities, you need to talk to the Ancient One. He's located near the stairway. The Ancient One will ask you to train. For the first stage of the training, you need to have been in your awakened form for at least 3 minutes. To fill up your bar to enter your awakened form, you need to deal/take damage. You can also fill up your bar by taking damage. Once you've been in your awakened form for 3 minutes, return to Ancient One and he will let you do another trial for 1000 fragments. Just so you don't get confused, you can't keep doing trials if you don't get an upgrade from the Ancient One. If you just won a trial and got Race v4 from the Ancient Clock, you will first need to complete Stage 1 of Ancient One's training, then buy his upgrade. If you don't buy his upgrade and try to do a trial, it won't work. Also, as you complete more trainings and buy more upgrades from the Ancient One, you will need to be in your awakened form longer, and pay more fragments. However, every time you complete a stage from him and then buy his upgrade, he will also extend the normal duration of your awakened form. Anyway, after you buy his stage 1 upgrade, you can do one more trial and unlock a new race V4 ability. For stage 2, you need to be in your awakened form for 5 minutes. After you've completed it, go to the Ancient One to buy his upgrade for 1500 fragments, and you can do another trial to unlock/upgrade an ability. Now, stage 3 is quite different. To finish that stage, you need to first complete 3 upgrades. For the first upgrade, you need to be in your awakened form for around 4 minutes, then buy his upgrade for 2000 fragments. For the second upgrade, you need to be in your awakened form for around 5 minutes, then buy his upgrade for 2250 fragments. For the third upgrade, you need to be in your awakened form for around 10 minutes, then buy his upgrade for 2500 fragments. That's the final upgrade for stage 3, and after you've done this, you can do trials at any time. Stage 4, the final stage, is just like stage 3 but has 5 upgrades instead of 3, so I'll just show a photo with all the information. After you've completed all of those upgrades, you can upgrade the final ability on the Ancient Clock, and then you've mastered your race. But anyway, that's everything to know about Race V4. Anyway guys, that's the end of this video. If you found this video useful, make sure to like and subscribe to help me make even better content for you guys. Anyway, bye.